This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello, all of you pet lovers and pet friends. This is Michelle Fern, your host on Best Bets for Pets. Now, hey, if you're like me, you have at least 1, 2, maybe 3 kind of neurotic fur babes. You know, the ones that bark all the time and they're just a little nervous. Well, I have a solution for you, and it doesn't require a vet visit, no medication, and you'll probably like it too. So I cannot wait to introduce you to the founder and president of this company for this great product. So stay tuned. We're going to be right back.
It's DesignerPetSweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit DesignerPetSweaters.com to order your 4-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. DesignerPetSweaters.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I'd like to introduce Michael Taro. Welcome, Michael.
Yoo-hoo!
Yes. And you are the amazing founder and president of Wholetones. And, you know, let everybody know that this is something that's going to calm their pets and possibly them. So what exactly is Wholetones? And
Great
just
question,
what is
Michelle.
it? And then I want to know how you came about creating it.
Wholetones is specifically tuned, frequency-enhanced music, and that's a mouthful for saying that, you know, there's an old maxim that music soothes the savage beast, and we know that our little fur babies are not savages. However, not only do they pick up on the off-gassing of our stress, but they have a myriad of their own issues. Some of them are afraid of fireworks and noise, earthquakes, or what we get in Florida sometimes, hurricanes. And not to mention when we leave them to go to work, we're the whole center of their universe. And so separation anxiety is a big deal. But overall, I created a specific kind of music that really helps with the circadian rhythm. And that's just a big old word for the bio clock of every living thing. Like when you sleep, when you rest, what happens when you sleep and rest. And by subtraction, it's funny how this happened. I created this music, and people relaxed immediately. I mean, like crazy. But what I didn't bargain for was how it would affect our furry friends. And mine, it started with my rescue dog, Ziva. And she was petrified. She came from Abaco, and so she was through a horrible hurricane and was petrified of anything that had to do with noise, lights, flashing, thunder, lightning, you name it. And she used to try to wedge in between the couch and the wall. She was just shaking, and it used to scare me. And so after I had created this music, one day I left it on when my wife and I went out and came back, and the dog was curled in a little ball on her bed and just like totally pieced out. And I thought, wow. It's like it was just coming apart outside. And I didn't figure this out till 2 or 3 times in that, oh my gosh, it's the music. If I don't leave the music on, she goes crackers. And then if I turn it on, it totally pacifies her. So then, you know, the research and trying to find out exactly how all of this really works. And so I did a study in the University of Jacksonville, Florida. And wow, the results were overwhelming on how frequencies affect human beings and animals, even on a cellular level. And so when I created Wholetones, the very first day that it was done, a boy had this genius idea, a little 14-year-old boy. He took a recording of my music that he had recorded off the CDs of his parents. He put it on a little tape recorder, little handheld recorder, digital recorder actually, went to the local SPCA, opened the door, and the dogs went crazy when he walked in. He went back out again, opened the door, but he had the music playing in that little player, and there wasn't a peep out of them. And it happened that the regional director of the SPCA in Dakota was in the office when that happened, and she saw what happened, and she said, "What did you just do?" He said, "I played my friend's music." She said, "Go outside and do that again. Come in without it on and then put it on and come in." So he turned it off, came back in, dogs went nuts, went back out, turned it on, opened the door, dead silence. And so I was like, oh my gosh. So that's when I started really working on ways to be able to help all furry friends, whether it's parrots and ferrets and cats and dogs, even horses, to be able to live an optimum life and be able to relax. So I've actually created now a musical player that is called Wholetones for Pets that doesn't require Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, has no EMFs whatsoever. It's totally safe for your pet, and it's kind of like leaving a friend when you have to leave the house or go to work. This little speaker has my music embedded in it. It's one touch. You turn it on, and you put it on a counter or wherever you want at any proximity from the dog or cat. And when you get home, you'll have a big surprise. You'll come home to a peaceful animal that stops chewing your Gucci shoes and putting holes in the wall.
Okay, what I want to describe to people is that it's self-contained. So it's actually like a little, I don't know, like a little round box, but it's small. Everything's self-contained. And you, like you said, you just turn it on and you have peace. But I love the fact that it doesn't have to be plugged into anything and it's easily transportable, because I haven't tried this yet, but I bet, and I wonder if you have, if you're taking your fur kit on a car ride or something, some of them get really nervous in the car. It would probably help with those kind of things, car rides, and, maybe if they're staying at another location for while you're on vacation or something, your friends watching them or something like that. So I like that it's so portable.
Now, the one thing about it is, though, this is plug and play, meaning it does have an AC adapter. So you do have, there's no Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, but you do have to plug this unit into the wall. So yes and yes, you can, of course, you can use it, with an eliminator and your cigarette lighter in the car if you want to do it in the car. We always take ours on vacation, and always, whenever we take the doggy with us in hotels, we always take this with and plug it in. But it does require AC, because I purposely did not put a battery in this so we would be able to keep the cost down so anybody could afford it. Because when you have a rechargeable system, it adds about $30 or $40 to every unit. People don't know that. But I wanted, most of the time it's so simple to use, but it's not rechargeable. It's point of service. When you plug it in, it plays. So I just wanted to make that really clear for everybody, because I do have rechargeable players of other kinds, but this one, anywhere there's a plug in your house, you just plug this in and you're good to go.
Okay, and what makes it, Wholetones, so different? Now, I know that you use a certain, this is music lingo that I don't know a lot about, but you use something called the solfeggio scale, what is that?
Easy. The solfeggio scale is really, it's an Italian word for sight singing, meaning singing by seeing lines on a piece of paper, which is called intervals or intervallic music. So solfeggio tones have been around for years and years and years and years, and there's specific ones, as well as I have a book I'm looking at right now of my own, over 1,000 different frequencies that have a different effect on different parts of the body. The one thing that I did with Wholetones was I originally started with 7 specific solfeggio frequencies, and each one of them had a different type of effect on the body. Whereas with Wholetones for Pets, this is really cool. There's one specific frequency that seems to work for just about any animal, and it's 396 hertz. And for the people that aren't into science or music, hertz is Heinrich Hertz, who was a physicist that created a unit of measure by which you could measure anything that vibrates per second. So a hertz level, 396 hertz, is just a fancy way for saying this note that I play, A, it vibrates 396 times per second. For whatever reason, that balance of the 3, 6, and 9, especially with dogs, cats, like I said, parrots, ferrets, even horses, it just is unbelievably relaxing for them. And probably one of the reasons is it's got such a powerful anti-anxiety attachment to it. Perfect example, I was on Chicago Channel 5, and they had one of the Blackhawks who has a foster care dog service, and they brought this dog in named Helga, who was a pit bull mix. And they let the dog go, and I'm sitting on the couch with the host and the hostess, and the dog jumped up on the couch and licked all the makeup off the guy host, and he was so cool. He just let the dog go to town. He didn't try to stop her, just let her lick, lick, lick for like 60 seconds at least. It was so much fun. I just fell in love with this dog, but dog was super hyperactive. And so they came and got her eventually, and they brought her off set. And so we went through the interview, and then at the end of the interview, the host looked at me and he said, "So we've heard miraculous stories about how your music pacifies even the craziest dogs." And I said, "Yeah, it's true." And he goes, "Well, we're going to put it to the test." And I thought, "Oh, no." And he goes, "You remember Helga, the one that was trying to make out with me and licked off all my makeup?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "We're going to put your music on, and we're going to take the collar off and let her run." And I thought, oh, my gosh, I'm on live TV right now. And so they turned my music on, and they took the leash off of Helga. Helga sits down, looks up at the speaker, tilts her little head, front two legs go down, she yawns, passes out right on camera, like in front of a studio audience. Everybody was gasping. It was on live television on Fox affiliate, and I'm like, oh, my gosh. And he said, "Man, did you pay that dog or what?" That was the most amazing thing I ever saw. And that's when I realized that, just like us, and I get, tens of thousands of testimonies from people that say it has the same effect on them when they play it for their dog, which is nice when you come home from work. But ultimately, our little fur babies, people will do anything for them. I saw a survey recently, and people said that if there was only enough food in the house for either them or their dog to eat, they would give the food to the dog. And so I think it's beautiful that so many of us, are trying to create things to give our furry friends the optimum life. And all of you that are listening, if you have a stressed out, anxiety-filled pet, it hurts you to see them like that. And so that's why I created Wholetones for Pets.
Okay, we're going to take a short break, and then I have a couple more questions, and I'm sure you have some more info to share with us. We'll be right back.
If you're attacked by a bear, a dog will throw himself into the mouth of a bear to save you. Dogs are dogs. They pour out their love onto you. Before long, you can't live without them. I have a chocolate cocker spaniel named Lady and a blackmouth cur. He's about 120 pounds, and his name is Arlo. My little cocker, her coat's as soft as a stuffed animal. They're both real soft coats, and my dogs don't have any health problems because they're eating what they need to eat.
DINOVITE.com.
Dynamite is like pouring a multivitamin right onto their food.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
We'll be scooping our Dynamite onto the food, then squirting the liquor chops and the fish oil. They start salivating.
Dynamite is nutrition.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
It's a lot of responsibility owning a dog. I get my Dynamite at DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. We're talking to Michael Terrell, and he is the founder and president of Wholetones. And what Wholetones does is it has a healing frequency that is played on using the solfeggio. It's Italian. I don't speak Italian. I know a little bit, like ciao and all that. And it just calms your pet. Another thing that I really love about this is there's options to calm your pet. And a lot of them usually go to medical. And that, one, you have the vet expense because you have to get a prescription. And prescriptions for your fur babes are not like for people. Most people have insurance, but, one tablet could be $20. So it's crazy. And you're medicating your pet. Why medicate if you don't have to? And we're becoming a country, maybe a world, where we're looking at pets differently. They're not just pets. They're our kids, our fur kids, and we're pet parents. It's just not like it used to be. And we don't usually have one. We usually have two or more, especially if you have cats. So why not do something for them that will enhance their life by calming them without medication, without making them anxious, just simply turning the music on, right? I mean, how great is that?
It doesn't get any easier.
Right. And you also have Wholetones that are helpful for people. And I just want to add, before you get into how it helps people, for people that are listening going, yes, sure. Think about if you ever had a massage. Maybe some people out there maybe never had it, but when you have a massage and you go in, what do? They play this certain kind of music to relax you and put you in the mood. There's music for different things. So they're playing that. There's a reason they play that. That's to calm you so that they can work on your muscles and so forth. So music is powerful. So if you think about how it works for people like, that, why can't it work for your fur kids in, a little slightly different way? And just why can't it work in listening in a certain, to a little bit different whole tones for people? Why can't it relax people, right?
Well, it absolutely does. And the reason that it works is really quite simple. Like you said, music in its own right. I mean, we know music in so many ways, and we don't even realize it until we hear a song on the radio and it brings us back to prom night, or it brings us back to a certain time in our life, or the song they played during our wedding, or, it's amazing how certain sounds, taste, touch, and smell affects our limbic system and our ability to be able to trigger memories. Because, so many people that have like Alzheimer's will come back actually in their right mind after they hear a song that they grew up with for a short time, because it triggers, that pattern in their brain. Well, what I've done, first of all, like I said, I've tuned my music different than any music that anyone's ever heard. That's number one. But what's more importantly, I use specific frequencies as an underlayment to play that music over, meaning it's kind of like a two-layer cake. And I like to say it like this: the frequency is the medicine, and the music is the spoonful of sugar that helps the medicine go down, because everybody loves music. But it's not like, this isn't entertainment. This is therapy. This is scientific and thought to the point where it will actually have a profound effect on people and on animals on a cellular level. It actually makes a difference, and that's why it's become so absolutely successful. And Wholetones for Pets has been a runaway hit. It's our newest device, is because it's instantly effective. And the reason it is because, especially our pets, the brain loves a pattern. It loves stability. It loves something it can attach to. That's why some people sleep good with, sleeping machines or white noise or what have you. In the same way, like when you leave, your energy goes with you. Your dog is used to feeling that. They don't know what it is. It's just you. It's your essence. And when that's empty in the house, there's nothing for them to attach to. So when you have something that's specific, that's frequency-based, it's like you left a friend. They feel the energy of this music and the frequencies, and they feel totally at home. And so when you get home, the separation anxiety, it's gone. They're not shaking and freaking out when you have a storm. In fact, our local store here, where I live in Florida, is Jake's Pet Store. And they sold out before I even had the device. I had a CD of this, and they absolutely sold out during the last hurricane, because people said it worked like magic during the hurricane. We had a hellacious hurricane last year, and they sold out like in a couple hours, because all the pet owners found out about this online and said, "Oh my God, the guy's here!" And I actually had to bring a box down to the pet store so they could get some more. But when I actually created Wholetones for Pets, the player, I think we've been in just about every major magazine now. It was picked up last week from a lady that makes the most expensive dog houses in the world for all the celebrities and the wives of Beverly Hills and all that. Just an amazing. It was Rockstar Pet Boutique is the name. So it's just been absolutely mind-boggling just how people love this unit, because it helps their little friends.
Okay, I have a question for you. So,
great.
I played it for my crew, and it was kind of like, one of these scenes out of a Disney movie with the forest, how all the animals started coming in to the room where the music was playing and sitting down and being mellow. And my little Havanese Nicky never shuts up. He has a yap. That's just how he's wired. And he was quiet, and it was amazing. What about if you have nervous pets that are not, maybe they're not bothered by noise, but they're nervous as far as, cats that don't use a litter box, or, dogs that are scratching or something? Will Wholetones help them too?
Absolutely. We've We've got online, all of our listeners tonight can check out literally thousands of testimonials, but some of the fun ones, or even a friend of mine who's a school teacher has a cat, and she even says it's the grumpiest cat in the world. Well, I sent her Wholetones, and she said, I put that machine on, and my grumpy kitty jumped up on the table and started rubbing on my machine and purring, and laid down next to the machine. And she said, when I turned it off, she got so angry she started hissing, and I turned it back on again. She started purring and rubbing on the machine. I've got this testimony I got to read you. Came in today from Fran. I found when riding in the car, your music stopped my kitty from crying. She would sit on the console without even a sound. We would laugh as she looked like a big chief riding down the road. However, if I forget to play your music, she would cry and go from front to back of the car. She is living proof to me that your music is a comforter to our baby. Oh, yeah, and by the way, she's a cat.
That's great. I wonder if your next step might be making like little headphones for pets.
It's funny. As you can imagine, being an inventor, I have run about every iteration of different types of things, from the collar to, from headsets and stuff. But honestly, I have found that pets are very reticent to anything over their ears, especially dogs. Like, they just will shake it right off. And so the cool thing about this, here's the best part, though, for your listeners. Wholetones whole therapy works, like I said, on a cellular level. So the ability to actually hear the audible sound is only 10%. So headphones aren't really that important at all, because that frequency, you could play it in your living room, and even at extreme low volume, that frequency is going to carry through your entire house. The dog or cat, or they'll hear it everywhere in the house, which is so cool. So you don't even have to play it loud. And if you're home and you want to play it, you can play it way lower than your TV set, and they're still going to have the same effect. It's amazing.
That's amazing. And is there going to be, I know that it's one frequency, and I know like zilch about music. I love it, but I don't know anything about it. So are you going to have a collection of different whole tones, or is it has to be on this frequency so it just sounds like it sounds?
No, there is. I mean, I have so many projects that, mostly, humans purchase these. But what I found was that there's a frequency that I know works with animals. And so, and I'm just going to be very transparent. A lot of people do this for the money. I don't. And so, I could easily say, I'm going to make all these albums for pets and whatever. You don't have to. Once you find them, it's just like Dr. Dolittle. I mean, he had a gift, right, in the movie. It's like He talks to the animals, and they all come into the room, and I have the frequencies that talk to the animal, and I know which one exactly works for all of our fur babies. And you know what? I know that works, and I'm not going to bother with anything else because it's so absolutely awesome. So what I've done with this player, just so everybody's clear, there's a couple different pieces composed in that same frequency, and then it loops itself. So in other words, once you turn this machine on, unless you use the timer mode, it's going to play for your dog, cat, parrot, or ferret all day long while you're gone. The only way it's going to turn off is if you turn it off. And so all day long, your dog is getting these wonderful frequencies that makes him or her feel like they're not alone, and they can be at peace, and they can enjoy themselves and relax. And then when you come home, they just need you, and you can shut it off if you want. Or you can sit and listen and take the edge off your day as well.
Okay, I have a couple questions that I know my listeners are probably saying, I wonder. Okay, what about good for puppies and kittens? Because puppies especially tend to be very neurotic. So, they're nervous. They're, little new things. How about for puppies and kittens? Good?
Phenomenal for puppies. And like I said, my first one was very destructive. And she used to lick the wall until the sheetrock got soft and then punch her head into it. You'd come home and just see half of a dog. The rest would be in the wall.
Oh my God.
Real destructive. Yeah. And so when I created Wholetones for pets, after I repaired the wall, and my wife was like, okay, we got to fix this, or we're going to make the dog go bye-bye. And I was like, no, I'll fix it. So I came up with this music, and that was it. The first time the dog heard that music, that was it. She used to chew like wooden stuff in the house, or my wife's shoes, or put her head into the wall.
Oh my God!
And all that chewing and destructive activity stopped after the frequencies. It's just absolutely amazing.
That it is amazing. And then there's no like trial period, so you don't have to, unlike certain other relaxing type things that are out there.
Exactly.
You don't have to get your animal, your fur kid used to listening and like some things you have to get them, try it a little bit, then try a little more. This just from the get-go, turn it on,
right
chill
on.
Dog, chill cat.
Yep. And what's fun about it, too, that I love is that dogs are the perfect test subjects, cats as well, because they like it or they don't. There's no placebo mechanics. There's no double-blind test needed with dogs. You turn it on, they either like something or they don't like it. You give them a biscuit, they either grab it out of your hand and devour it, or they just drop it right there and walk away from it. There's no middle ground with animals. They're so honest, and that's why it was such a big deal, because, again, I did not create this for that purpose. I want to make that extremely clear to everyone. I created a piece with these frequencies in it, and one of the 7 just absolutely moved a marker for all animals in general. And so that's how that happened. And then when I isolated that frequency, it was after that I created Wholetones for Pets and now Wholetones for Pets Player.
Amazing. And you have a special offer for all of our listeners out there. So you want to share that with them?
I would be glad to, and I love to do that, especially for all of our friends, all of our listeners, and all my new friends. The URL, or where you'll go, is Wholetonesforpets.com, and that's spelled WHOLETONESFORPETS. That's Wholetonesforpets.com. And once you get there, you'll enter the promo code BESTBETS. That's BESTBETS. Best Bets. That will save you $10 off of this player. And I'll let you know something up front. When I did my research, like I mentioned earlier, it is not a rechargeable player, and I did that on purpose because I was looking at all the other things that were available. CBD oil, obviously, then the Thunder Jacket was one, but the Thunder Jacket only got 2 stars on Amazon and only worked for about, maybe a third of the animals. I wanted something that worked for like the high 90% of animals.
Thunder Jacket. Let's just say those kind of things, without stepping on toes, those kind of things for Nikki never work.
I know. And it didn't work for my baby either. And that's why I was so psyched. So when you have listeners and, when I have fun with a host like you, I want to be able to do something. So just so people know up front, like when we were in Women's World magazine, and so they had like a month of Stella and Chewy's biscuits and my player, and they were the same price, $49.95. And I'm like, really? That bag will be gone in a month? This thing will last for the rest of your life. They're extremely well made. You'll see when you get yours. It's virtually indestructible unless you hit it with a sledgehammer. And so with $10 off, because you're going to save $10 off, that means $39.95. You have a companion for your pet that plays until you turn it off, that's absolutely solid, made out of billet aluminum, and it is just a wonderful, wonderful device. And for all my female listeners, I absolutely love this demographic. Most of the Wholetonians, all the people that follow Wholetones, are women. And I designed this. I mean, you can see it. I hope your sample came, but I think it did. But I even designed the unit for people to love. It's kind of like a Louis Vuitton brown, and it has little caricatures of all that, doggies, kitties, birds, horses, paws, and silkscreen Wholetones for Pets. But even the box, it looks like a box of chocolate. Like when you open it, it's a beautiful box, and when you open up, it's like, boom, there's your player, and it looks like a little piece of chocolate. So just so everyone knows about the size, it would be kind of like if you saw the circumference of a hockey puck and you double the depth. So it is small,
right,
but it's
small,
solid.
but that's what one of the nice things about it is that it makes it very easily mobile.
Oh, yeah. Right on. And the sound is amazing, too, which is another thing from being an inventor. I put a lot in a little space, let's put it that way.
Yeah, you did an amazing job. So,
oh, thank you, Michelle.
Michael, thank you so much for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling us all about Wholetones for Pets. Visit Wholetonesforpets.com and use the promo code BESTBETS for $10 off. That's a big savings because it's not very expensive. You can also go to the episode page and we'll have the information there as well. PetLifeRadio.com. Go to Best Bets for Pets and this episode, and all the information will be right there. So, Michael, thank you again for creating Wholetones for all of us pet parents and for all the fur babes that are going to be in such a better state for listening. So, thank you very much.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Okay, listeners, pet parents, pet lovers, this product, Wholetones for Pets, is amazing. I'm telling you, I have a lot of nervous pets. I have a nervous old dude, Mr. Z. I have a nervous little dude, Nikki. I have a nervous kitty, Charlotte. And Molly can get a little high-strung too. The only one that's really chill is Dennis. And when I play Wholetones for Pets, they just all come in. They relax near the music, and it's like there's a magical effect over them. It's amazing. So please take advantage of this great offer. Again, it's wholetonesforpets.com. Use the promo code BESTBETS, and you'll get $10 off. And I'd like to thank my guest, Michael Terrell, for creating Wholetones for Pets. Thanks to everyone listening to Best Bets for Pets. Share this knowledge, because I'm sure you have a friend with a nervous pet that will love the fact that they can just play some music and their pet is calm. And a huge thank you to my producer, Mark Winter, for making me and my guest always sound so awesome and so much better than we normally do. So thank you, Mark Winter. And keep listening. You'll never know what great products I find out there to share with you.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.